to George, the curious little monkey. He must know what everything's about. Curious George, the curious little monkey. What's he up to? Let's find out.
Curious George on parade. "It's a beautiful day, George," said the man with the yellow hat. "Why don't we go to the firemen's parade?" They got into their little blue car and drove off. At the park, the firemen were getting ready for the parade. Some were polishing the red fire trucks. The band was getting their instruments ready. The man with the yellow hat was chatting with his friend, the bandmaster. The bandmaster looked worried.
"I hope we'll be able to start the parade on time," he said. "The flag boy hasn't shown up, and we can't have a parade without a flag boy."
"George," said the man with the yellow hat, "I'm going to get some hot dogs. You stay here and look around, but don't get into trouble." George went over to the band. The instruments were lying on the grass. There were big tubas, long trombones, and skinny flutes. The assistant bandmaster was putting a pile of music cards on a table. What were those cards for? George was curious. He jumped up on the table and picked up a card. It was full of lines and dots. Maybe George could build a house with them. Soon, George had built his house. One more card would finish it. Too bad. George picked up the cards and put them back where they were. Now the assistant would never know that he had been playing with them. A whistle blew. It was the bandmaster.
"May I have your attention, please?"
He said.
"While we are waiting for the flag boy, we will practice our music."
Then he turned to his assistant.
"Pass out the music cards, please," he said.
"Yes, sir," his assistant said, and she went to the table and picked up the cards. "I have them in perfect order," she said. When everyone had their music, the bandmaster raised his baton, and the band began to play. The band made a horrible noise.
"Stop!" shouted the bandmaster. "What's going on? Has the band gone crazy?"
He was furious. "Somebody switched the cards around," cried the man with the flute. "It must have been that monkey," said the assistant, pointing to George. "Let's get him," shouted the man with the tuba, and all the bandsmen rushed over. George was scared. It was time to get away. Luckily, he found a good hiding place. No one would find him now.
"He must be around somewhere," said one musician.
"We'll catch him," said another one.
"Hey, what's that?" shouted the drummer.
The flagpole was slowly moving away from the musicians. "The flag! It's moving!" shouted the man with the tuba. And he ran over and grabbed it, and there was George. All the musicians, the assistant bandmaster, and the bandmaster came running over. But this time, the bandmaster wasn't angry.
"You shouldn't have switched the music cards, George," he said, "but you can make up for it by being our flag boy."
The man with the yellow hat had just joined them. "Splendid idea," he said. George picked up the flag. The band began to play, and the fire trucks rolled down the main street. The crowd cheered. And way up front, leading the whole parade, was Curious George.